seconds. Charles Barkley. Johnson around his man. Drives and scores. So Lamar Jackson just Stoudemire scores. I'm supposed to answer. Rejected. What a defensive effort that time. And Crowder looking for the alley. Kevin Durant. Break it out here. With a long one, won't get it. Long rebound. Finds Booker.
Are we really doing this?
And that's the powerhouse start I was hoping for.
Okay, then. Well, good morning, Planeteers. Welcome back to the Sun's Planet podcast. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to all of y'all. Depends on when you are, but we are back here to talk about suns. And yeah, save me out here, Jake. Thank you.
Kevin, introduce us.
Yeah, there you go.
Very
So,
nice done.
I am in the middle of the screen, so that means I am your host with Jake over there from the Midwest, and as well as Hammo from the land down under. How are you guys doing?
Doing excellent, man. Thanks for having us on today. I'll just clarify for the Planeteers a little bit. Why am I not in the driver's seat? Why is Hammo not in the driver's seat? Well, our good buddy Kevin may have cost us a follower on Twitter. It was we don't know for sure. It could have been any reason, in fairness. But for a brief moment, the Sun's Planet was being followed by the one and only Devin Armani Booker. He loves the artwork. He loves the videos. He loves the tweets, except for when Kevin says, everybody check out what Devin Booker's doing. So Kevin is putting in the work this week. He'll lead us through the night as the host of this episode.
Oh, what a punishment, man.
No, let's
Yeah.
pump him up. Planeteers. Let's help Kev through this one.
You know what? I woke up today feeling at peace that everyone has moved on about that blunder that I did or that I made. And here I am being punished. So
Punished? No, you're giving the keys to the car.
Well, it's not a car that I wanted to drive. Not yet. But let's get on to this.
Different when you're in the middle, mate.
So we're officially done with the Olympics, and we all know the story. What's going on with my? Can you guys still see me? Can you guys hear me?
You're a little frozen, but I can still hear you.
You're a little bit frozen.
Okay. So what's going on with my laptop? I'm sorry.
Terrible host.
You know, I tell you what, I've seen some B League, Bush League type stuff in my time. But Kev, tell us a little bit about how the Suns, the Summer Suns, Summer Olympic Suns, got the gold.
You know what? It's all just black screen that I'm seeing here.
We hear you loud. You look good for a frozen image. You look good. Like a lot of people in like virtual meetings, they get that pause where they're just, and you know,
Yes,
that's not you.
Side, bad angle.
Thank you, Josh. You look deep in thought. Like, why did I cost us the Devin Booker fellowship?
Come on.
It looks very good, but
all right. Why don't we let Kev
dip out? I'll remove you out here for a second.
Do your thing. All right, cool.
And when you're ready, Kev, step out of StreamYard and come back in and rejoin you. And it's okay because I didn't even want to talk to the Philippines about the Olympics because they weren't even playing any basketball. The Australians were, the Americans were. Hammo, the Americans got the gold, and the Australians are known for Ray Gun, a fantastic breakdancer that reminds us all of our mother in some way. Although I was seriously corrected in my work trip this week when somebody from Jolly Old explained to me that breakdancing isn't actually, you don't score points. And this thing has gone viral that she lost like 50-0. And I'm not sure. I didn't actually watch it. I've just seen every meme since. But Ray Gunn, apparently, there's like a whole fictional narrative being built around this poor woman who, just told me that maybe I can still be an Olympian. Hammo, was there any sport before we dive into the Olympic gold that the Americans brought that you thought, you know what? Maybe I have hope. Was it the Turkish guy just walking in there with the pistol and being like, boom, silver?
That cat is something special, dude. Especially the whole story behind it. Like, he wasn't even supposed to be there. Just one of the teammates was ill and he was on a business trip to Paris at the same time. Left a lunch business meeting, went straight to the shootout and just kicked ass. But archery for me, my man. I'm actually an archer. So like ticketed qualified archer. So yeah, no, archery for me definitely. But no, I'm nowhere near Olympic level. Don't kid yourself.
There's
But,
I'd probably go with the trampoline just because I feel like it would be fun. But
Diana
too,
was a
at my age,
trampolinist.
now that I've hit the big 3.7, I feel like I kind of want to see if my knees and my hips would just shatter after I accidentally take a bad bounce. Because when you're a kid, you fall and you bounce right back up,
Yeah,
and then you
just
land and
straight
everyone
back
keeps
up.
going. When you're an adult, you have one bad bounce. You're like, oh my God, my hip is in my shoulder now, and there's something wrong here. So,
I slept the wrong way and haven't felt my foot all day.
ooh, wait a minute. Oh my gosh, I know exactly what we need to do, Planeteers. Josh Hunt, our producer, has a archery merit badge. We need to do a virtual shootout at some point. Maybe set up a tripod or two from Australia to Arizona. Put up a nice like Phoenix Suns logo closest to the center of the target. Oh my gosh, I would pay $1 for that. I'd pay $1 for that one, absolutely. And there was the smack talk for the virtual listeners. If you didn't hear, a bird was flipped by Sir Hammo. Challenge accepted.
I'd love to have a go.
Yeah,
Love to have a go with Josh.
As we continue to, we are going to make sure that Kevin takes the lead at some point, but we can help him out through this first segment. Kevin Durant, was lighting it up. The scoreboard now has the record for the most points in the Olympics, and of course, Devin Booker. I don't know if you saw this, Hammo, but even the Athletic wrote a great article on him about how he really took on the 3-and-D passing as well. And just basically said, hey, I'll do all the dirty work in the Olympics. I got this. And they talked a little bit about how, is Devin Booker one of the most overlooked superstars in the league? And will this success in the Olympics catapult him again, because he's done this before. But are we going to see kind of a new Devin Booker coming from having won the gold into the Suns this year?
Yeah, look, I'll start with Kevin Durant there. The most successful male basketball Olympian of all time. 4 gold medals, leading the entire Team USA in points. And I believe he's also number 1 in rebounds as well. I could be wrong on that. Planeteers, please correct me because I have been wrong once. It was a Tuesday. And Kevin Durant is just going to go down as one of the most celebrated Olympians in a few years' time when people get off the KD hate train. Devin Booker, look, everyone. I spoke a little bit about how it annoyed me last week that finally the national media is really starting to, this guy can play basketball. I'm over that now. I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm getting messages from people who have never seen Devin Booker play. I'm sorry, I didn't know his game kind of messages. But yeah, no, it's been really cool to see Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr went out of his way during that press conference because no one asked about Devin Booker. He went out of his way to make sure that the last thing he spoke about was what Booker committed to the team, how he's been selfless, how he's been able to just be a role player. Mm-hmm. And it's incredible, man. Like this, I said last week again as well, or maybe the week before, Kevin Durant always comes back better from the Olympics the year after. He's just rejuvenated. He feels on top of his game. So to come back that way, and to come back as a member of a team with someone who you've just really gone hard with against the world, it's awesome, man. It's going to be a wicked season, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I think, and ladies and gentlemen, we do have Kevin back, so we'll be turning the controls right back over to him as soon as he's ready. But to kind of brief him up to speed, we are talking Booker and Durant, and are they going to be able to carry this into the next season? And I think a little bit what's interesting, Hammo, is what you said. Durant's probably going to take the lead this year, and be firing on all cylinders. I expect Book to do be a similar way. In that Athletic article, they actually kind of talked about, does this wear guys down during the summertime? Not really, from what it sounds like. I mean, these guys can rest for the next, almost 2 months still, and be just fine. There was no major injuries to Team USA, which is great. What's interesting, though, too, is that, I think, Kevin Durant, maybe a little less so than Booker. Booker kind of wears his confidence, or I guess he's got a chip on his shoulder, right? Is how we describe it. He wants to prove the world. KD's a little bit more like, it's all about ball, man. If we win, we win. If we don't, that's all right. I already got titles. Like he's a little bit more cool customer, I feel, than Booker, who will get a little bit more into the trash talking a little bit more. But I think going out, obviously we had a disappointing season. The season before that was disappointing, when we lost the Nuggets in the playoffs. And so that chip on the shoulder can kind of work to our benefit now that our two guys are back with Olympic gold and being significant contributors. Booker was the glue guy for this Olympic team. Durant continues to be one of the greatest, if not the greatest Olympian, at least the greatest basketball Olympian of all time. And then you've got other people like Tyrese Halliburton and Jason Tatum, who are going back with the gold medal. And, they should be proud of it. But at the same time, they're going back and, people are like, well, you didn't really do much on that team.
The classic meme of when you don't contribute but still get an A.
That was, I tell you what, the self-reflection of Tyrese Halliburton for being like, yeah, I didn't really do much. And I got the goal. Like, that's a great way to be like, before you all try and hate on me, I know I didn't do much, but it was a good story either way. I still think, I think it was D-Rock when we did the Suns Planet in Belgium episode, was we were talking about how an Olympic play, international play, you are able to, there's a little bit more hand checking involved and a little bit more kind of that 90s style of basketball that you can kind of control the offensive player a little bit more. And that really worked to Booker's advantage because he doesn't have the length from Cheesy McShuttlenuts or
Cheesy. Send me a DM, bro. Seriously, I've been trying to get hold of you. I don't know your Twitter handle, bro. You know mine. Hit me up.
He's been trying to get a hold of you for like forever.
That's right. He wants those McShuttlenuts.
He's
ready for
cheesy.
But what do you think, Kev? Is Devin Booker? I think it sounds weird to say this because I remember with DeAndre Ayton, right? It was the Suns will go as far as DeAndre Ayton allows them to go in the playoffs, that kind of stuff, because we knew what we were getting from some of our superstars, Chris Paul, Booker at the time, and it was Ayton was the kind of wild card. Is DeAndre? Is Devin Booker's defense the wild card for the Suns this season? Is that a fair question?
To me, no, because in every team there's like roles that you play, right? His role is to score, be that type of guy, the go-to guy for the Suns. He can definitely like improve his defense over the course of the season, but it's not really his calling card with the Suns. And credit to him, he did a splendid job during the Olympics, but that's not his role at all with the Suns. His role is to score the ball, be that go-to guy during clutch times, and take us all the way through. That's why the Suns got those people to do their roles in the defensive side of the ball. So I think that's just me.
No, well, that's a fair point, and let me just jump in and Hammo, I'll save you some time. Cheesy McShuttle Nuts, we hope to do a Suns Planet Visits Canada episode, so that's why Hammo's probably reaching out to you to see if you'd like to come on and guest
Yes,
with
sir.
us at some point.
Yes, sir.
So we can learn all things about Canada, because right now Kevin's pretty sure you guys just ride mooses and drink maple syrup, and I say that's not true. Poutine is a major factor in the Great North.
It's shitting all over Kev, man.
I love me some Canada, baby. Absolutely.
All right. Well, I'll
that
tell
was
you
all
what.
Jake.
Maybe I'll just give everyone the Suns Planet email address, because you can find it on YouTube anyway, can't you? I think so, in the description. Yeah, Cheesy McShuttlenuts, sunsplanetpodcast@gmail.com. Please send us an email, mate. I'd love to chat to you.
Absolutely. Hammo, let me kind of rephrase the question that I gave to Kevin. So, because Kevin made a great point, it's not Booker's role on this team, the Suns team. With the Olympic team, he found that role. Kerr wanted somebody to step up. Booker did it in chef's kiss, amazing fashion. But with the Suns team, we've got Bradley Beal. We've got Kevin Durant. We've got Tyus Jones, who's not really much of a scorer, more of a creator. We've got Grayson Allen, three-point shooting, some good defense. Nurk knows his role, interior defense and rebounding. So, for the most part, I think, though, with the big three especially, they're so electric at shooting and scoring. Do we need to see one of the big three sacrifice that aspect of their game a bit, similar to when Chris Bosh went from the guy with the Toronto Raptors to, hey, I'm playing with Dwayne Wade and LeBron James. I'm going to shut people down in the post and be a great post defender and really, mix it up inside a little bit. Is that what Booker's going to need to do, or somebody else in the big three potentially?
I think Booker's role this upcoming season is going to be more vintage, what we would consider vintage Devin Booker. It's similar to the bubble kind of in terms of he's doing what he was doing in the Olympics, picking everyone up, doesn't matter what position they are, picking them up at wherever on the court to set up the defense, being an absolute facilitator in terms of not being selfish. Like, if there's a better shot, like the Curry shot at the end of the Olympics there, Bron, KD, Booker pretty much open. KD just passed in the ball, so that sort of, there's no need to pass back to KD. LeBron's sitting there doing his, going down the slide thing. Maybe that's why Kevin Durant was doing that. And Booker's sitting there, but you don't see Book kicking up a stink winch, and you don't see Kevin Durant getting upset, anything like that. I think we're going to see some of the best basketball come out of Devin Booker this season. Just vintage Devin Booker getting back to. He's not going to be playing I don't know what's going on with the positions at the moment, but doesn't matter what position he's going to be playing. He's going to be able to just slot straight in. And, dude, it's going to be MVP caliber coming out of Devin Booker this season. It really is.
I'm in agreement, and maybe, Kevin, you'll actually agree with this statement. So, although I asked the question, I don't necessarily believe that that's going to be Booker's role with the team as a defensive creator, 3-and-D type guy. Nobody says you can't do it all. Michael Jordan, fantastic on-ball defender, perimeter defender, and a massive leading scorer for his team. Booker can do both these things. His defense took a step back last year, at least it appeared so in terms of effort. But the year before that, my goodness, people are like, hey, Devin Booker actually swats the ball out of guys' hands.
Superstar. Yeah,
passes.
That's what they're saying.
I can just hear Suns geek.
Right.
Preach.
Right. With Booker or with Beal and Durant, again, the more comfortable they become, I think it'll be easier for them. Kind of like when Kevin Durant all of a sudden kind of looked pretty good as a post defender, a decent rebounder, in the 4 position. He's never really been known for that kind of elite stuff, but we needed that to happen. And those guys will get their baskets, but the important thing is that we have other guys that are so good at scoring anyway that, hey, go put in a little extra effort in to intercept a pass, get that dish out. Somebody else is going to score it, and your team's going to get the win. And the next game, it could be totally different on the other side, like when Beal was guarding Zion Williamson, and we're like, oh, my God, what is happening here? And Beal just stepped up. He's like, I got him. So I think we can see both certainly take place.
It's going to be so many cool rotations coming up this season, man. It's even just playing on 2K. There's so much fun to be had.
For sure, and I think that is the challenge for Budenholzer to like optimize the roles of the big three and how the ball distribution or just scoring distribution goes whenever those three are on the floor. Yeah.
Well, I see Matt from the Shooters Lounge, and we're big fans of Matt's on the show as he took us to England.
Hell yes,
and he's got a great point. If Booker isn't carrying the ball as much, his defense is going to be better than last season. I think that's very true. And that's why we went out and said, okay, we got Monty Morris. Then we one-upped ourselves and got Tyus Jones. We have the two guys that have the best assist-to-turnover ratio, which is just, I mean, I love to see anytime you're watching like your professional sports team, they're like, oh, this is a weakness. You're always like, I hope they can address that in the offseason. The Suns were like, we're going to just like focus on that. And they really came out and did it. So we, I think, are going to, I'd be very surprised if anyone's taking the ball up much, from the backcourt up to get the offense initiated. That's not Jones or Monty, maybe in a fast break situation. But otherwise, give those guys the 6 to 7 seconds to breathe a little bit and just jog down the court and get ready for it to set up the offense. Come off some screens, get some open shots.
He's been doing it long enough. Let someone else have a crack. You know what I mean?
Now, when you went to England, I wasn't there. So can you take me there at some point?
No, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to have Matt back
some
on.
Pub ales. Matt, tell him about it, man. We were getting a little lit, Hammo was a little nervous because, anytime the Empire comes back, he gets a little shook and he wants to go all Braveheart on him. But it was it was a great episode. Matt's actually come on a couple of times with us where he's always
Matt's a top guy.
And if I'm not mistaken, was he our first international episode?
Oh man, that's a damn good question.
Matt, you were probably like
maybe Australia
22 when we first worked with you, and now you're 40. It feels like forever ago. Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was a year.
There's more truth. There's more truth to that than you realize, but yeah. No, Matt and the Shooters Lounge, they do a great job over there, man. They not only cover Matt covers the Phoenix Suns side of things, but they just cover the NBA in general, and it's really cool to see different perspectives from different cultures around the world. This is what we do here at Suns Planet. So, guys, check out the Shooters Lounge, please. And shout out to also Gio in the chat, another good friend that Matt helped us get in contact with. So, and they actually helped us get hold of Pat Burke. So, very much.
I momentarily thought you said Gio in the chat, not a good friend, and you meant, and then it just took me a second. Another good friend is what you said.
Another good friend. Yeah, sorry.
Absolutely.
It is 2:30 in the morning, and these beers are nice.
We love our royal cousins. Absolutely.
Just scrolling through the comments over here, Charles, I couldn't agree more with you. The wild card for Devin this season is to be like Chris Paul in crunch time. So I totally agree.
Oh, I like that idea. Yeah.
Booker is clutch. We know that.
Yeah.
To touch a little bit more on the Olympics, and then I'm going to totally hand the ball back off to Kev. But throw some names out of guys that you think should be representing Team USA in the Olympics. And when it comes to what we're in LA next, right?
LA.
That's right. So, any names pop out as I guess the challenge is trying to remember where everybody's from. But anybody.
Well, it's not so much where they're from; it's who they're choosing to represent.
Well, that's a fair point. Yeah, like Joel Embiid style, for example. But any key players that you guys are like, you know what? I bet you they're going to be on Team USA very soon. And if you can think of one that wasn't on Team USA already.
I can think of one straight away, but it's whether they're going to be able to keep themselves out of trouble or not.
Okay.
Who's that person?
Well, I'm thinking Ja Morant.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
I mean, if he's willing to I'm sorry if I'm wrong here, Planeteers. I'm not 100% up to date on his official nationality. I'm pretty sure he's American, but I could be wrong.
He is.
Um, if he can stay out of trouble, why the hell would you not want this guy representing the US in terms of skill level? I mean, if he goes there and gets, just get into the Olympics, he'll either be great at basketball or great at shooting, better than the Turkish fella. So, jam around.
I like John. Yeah, he's from South Carolina, born and raised. Kev, you got anyone?
Yeah, for sure. I have. I think Donovan Mitchell can be there. Uh,
Spider.
uh, and I'm seeing like somebody suggesting Paolo Banchero. Um,
Oh, Paolo, yeah.
is he like full American? Because he
Oh,
has a
he's probably
cousin.
one of them guys that'd be able to choose.
I see. Because he has a cousin that plays here in the
Born in
Philippines.
Seattle, Washington.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's like Kyrie
Um,
Irving could turn around and play for the Boomers if he wanted to, but
Who?
he Kyrie Irving.
Oh,
Oh,
Kyrie,
right.
yeah, for sure, Kyrie.
The flat earther that came from Australia.
The flat earther that come from the planet, the country that doesn't exist.
Or exactly. I never quite understood. He's like, yeah, the world's flat. It ends, and it's like you come from the other side.
Yeah, you got to go off the edge.
You go off the edge and then you fall to the other side.
Fall to the other side. Yeah,
that's gravity.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Matt, for correcting me
That's
there.
good.
He did play for the U.S. in the World Cup. So
Well, there
he
you
was
go.
here.
That's World
Okay.
Cup, though.
Philippines.
That's
Okay,
World
yeah.
Cup. He may be there may be players out there from smaller nations that don't
Yeah.
necessarily get into things like the World Cup, but they may be in the
Okay.
Olympics. Like look at what South Sudan did, man. 14 years as a country. That's incredible.
I'll give you guys two names, and I think
Please.
you're kind of right on that that edge if you guys even want to see him. So first off, how about the man in Canada at the moment, Scotty Barnes, born in the United States. I think a big kind of power forward type player. Is the game has kind of moved a little bit away from that and into more of a I don't want to say necessarily a finesse game because as we talked about a moment ago, the international game allows for the defenders to get a little bit handsier.
Physical. Yeah.
But I think Scotty Barnes would be a good one. And then, my controversial choice. How about some Trey Young? Going up to South Sudan and going, getting cold out there, guys.
What, for Trae Young, I would replace him with Jalen Brunson.
Oh yeah, okay, I can see that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Mikhail
Mikhail,
Bridges.
yeah.
Ooh.
Could be. He's part of that World Cup here.
There's so much talent
yeah,
coming up, man.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Yeah.
going to be the changing of the guard that we're seeing. I was about to say hopefully everyone knows my thoughts on LeBron, but you're going to see people like LeBron possibly not be in the next Olympics. Kevin Durant sort of, we'll wait and see. Might have been Steph Curry's last Olympics as well. You've got guys like Ant-Man coming up. So there's going to be a massive changing of the guard. This is possibly Steve Kerr's last Olympics as well. Spoelstra will probably take over, so he could look to go in a different route with the team. But there's so many superstars out there playing in the NBA and around the world that could be representing the US in 4 years' time.
All right, Kev. What do we got next on the docket?
Yeah, so let's go back here for a second. Let's go back to the US. Okay, let's leave France for a bit, and then let's go back to the US and talk about the Suns and their schedule. So the schedule came out this week, and I think Team USA was still playing when the schedule for the Emirates Cup or Emirates NBA Cup was released. So a couple of things here. We have
And just to clarify, this is the in-season tournament. It's just been rebranded. Okay.
Rebranded. So what are your thoughts on this, guys? We are in Group B. We are bracketed with OKC or Oklahoma. We have the Lakers, the Jazz, and the Spurs. So the Suns open their tourney against the Jazz. on November 12th. What do you guys think about the group? Do you see the Suns like coming out and playing for the knockout rounds?
Go on, Jake.
I'm nervous. I'm nervous with this group. When I saw the random shakeout of it, I thought this wasn't random enough for me. And the reason why I think is the Oklahoma City Thunder are very legitimately they're a legit quality team. They're going to be competitive this year. They're going to try and compete for a title. The Utah Jazz, okay, they don't make me nervous. Granted, they are keeping Lauri Markkanen, but that doesn't make me nervous. The LA Lakers does not make me nervous. The San Antonio Spurs, we could not figure them out last year, and they were among one of the worst teams. So I desperately hope that we've got that figured out. Granted, at least one of those games was the one where, if you remember, we inbound the ball to Kevin Durant, and some two guys smoked his hands,
Yeah,
and they didn't
Katie
call
was
a foul,
fouled.
and they got the basket, and they won the game. So I think it's certainly beatable. I could see us not finishing top one, being the top in the group, and being very competitive. So I think our floor is high. Our ceiling might be a little lower in this group, just because we have some competitive groups. I'm not too worried about the Lakers, but I think they'll be a kind of a middle class team. They're going to be very good too, and they might be able to steal one off of us. So my hope would be right now if we finish second in the group.
All right, thank you.
That's interesting. So if you presented this same thing to me last year, I would have had different concerns. There is only one team in that group that seriously concerns me, and that would be the Spurs, because with the advent of Chris Paul and Wemby, we just don't know what's going to happen there. OKC, yes, not writing them off. They're a very good young team with a lot of upside potential in front of them. Utah, nah, and LA, come on, man, fucking LA. Let's watch the La Brea Tar Pits just catch on fire like a dumpster fire, because that's all we're going to see out of the Lakers organization this year. I'm sorry, I'm not fucking with that.
LeBron James and Anthony Davis, gold medal award winners at the most recent Olympics, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, we spoke about Tyrese Halliburton getting the A for doing nothing, so
They were
let's not give him any sort
you
of extra
are so
kudos.
blinded by this LeBron James hate. That's just like
look,
I don't like the Lakers, but I can admit that they're competitive. I'm not saying they're
At least
our biggest-
competitive. Yeah. Well, thank you
I'm not
guys for your
and
thoughts.
Cheesy, I'm not
They won the
brushing off
in-season tournament last
OKC.
year.
They are the
Yeah,
defending
they're
champs on that tournament. And before I go on, shout
Hammo's
out to
been
Mr. Voida over
awaiting the
here.
LeBron James decline for like 10 straight years. He's like, it's going to happen this year. He's going downhill.
I don't think it's gonna happen soon. Maybe in another year. But yeah, I want to say hello to Mr. Voida, managing editor of the Bright Side of the Suns.
Podcast royalty in the
Yeah,
house.
podcast royalty. That is right. Check out their Suns Jam podcast. For me, I think this is a really a competitive group, Jake. Like you've mentioned, and the Jazz are no cakewalk. At least from the last in-season tournament that we did, it was close until like KD saved us, right? Both games. So it's kind of like a trap game, if you ask me, for that Jazz. But I would say that we can come out of that group. I'll just leave that from now. I'm not going to name any names or any team names to beat, but I'm just going to say, just me being positive, that the Suns are going to come out of this group. So moving on, let's go to the schedule. The regular season schedule that was released. Was it yesterday or the other day? I think yesterday,
Yeah,
right? Was it?
no, they all blend together nowadays.
Right. So, uh, let me pull up my notes here. So, Sun schedule. I think ESPN like showed a graphic. Oh, there it is. I believe this is from Sun's Jam as well, or from Voida. Um, this is the overall schedule of the Suns. We have 16 back-to-back games this year. I believe Josh had like 18 last year. So that's down to two, or that's less. Sorry, but yeah, 16 back-to-back games this year. What's notable here is the first 2 months of the season. So
Wait,
um,
correction.
th-
Do we know, is that an increase or a decrease from
that's a
last year?
decrease. It was a
Oh,
decrease. Yep.
okay. No.
Thank you, John, for the graphic. I saw you tweet this out.
Oh,
Um,
14. Okay, so it's an increase.
oh, 14. Okay, it's an
Yeah.
increase then. All
I was
right,
thinking
sorry about
16
that.
seems high. Yeah.
My bad. Okay, so the first 2 months. Okay, get a hold of this. The Suns faced Dallas twice. The Clippers twice. The Lakers 3 times. That includes one Emirates Cup game. The Sacramento twice. New York, Philadelphia, Orlando, and um, Golden State Warriors. Now you're gonna say like, why Orlando? They're good, and they beat us last season when Booker had like 50 or 60 in their home floor. So they are a formidable team. So what are your guys' thoughts on the first 2 months of this of this of the season for the Suns? I mean, you think it's a gauntlet for sure, but the last season, the Suns ended with the toughest schedule among all teams, and they came out like 7-2, I think. What are your guys' thoughts on this?
Personally, I don't mind it. I think it's okay. Um,
Yeah,
the thing that annoys me is the nationally televised games, but um, Suns Jam Session, Darth Vader in the house, Suns Jam Session, and Suns Geek did a breakdown of the schedule a couple of days ago, which is awesome, guys. Check it out. Friday. Sorry, 2 days ago.
Yesterday here in the States.
Yes, yes.
Wait, unless
so
it was
many,
Thursday. And it
so
time
many,
zones messing us up,
so
huh?
many
I
time
see that.
zones, man. This is crazy. But yeah, the televised games is something up for conjecture because, as Suns Geek pointed out, he considers NBA TV games to be televised games, and I think that's probably true as well. So it's just interesting that we don't have as many televised games as we probably should, but that's okay. The league's going in a different way. Um, got a different. They're focused more towards like Ant-Man and things like that. But no, the schedule looks pretty damn good to me, man. I'm happy with it. Yeah, I think it should be okay.
I see. Jake, before you go on here, I just want to note that we have, or the Suns have 4 back-to-back games in 2 months, um, from October to November. So go ahead, Jake.
I don't like it. I don't like the increase of back to backs, especially with this roster of KD and Beal on there. We're going to see if we have real depth this year. Last year it was kind of a mirage at the beginning. We were also goddamn excited that we had all these random role players from other teams show up, but we quickly found out those role players had no role on our team,
Yeah.
and we got rid of most of them at the trade deadline. The 30 national televised games, for somebody that's based in the Midwest, we never got a lot of Suns games unless they were nationally televised. So I think 30 is actually strong. I do have, I use, what's it called? Sling TV. And I'm able to pick up the NBA TV. Not the greatest announcing crew, but, they're all right. And like I said, I get to watch my Suns. Of course, I get league pass anyway to watch the Suns. So I like that we're getting some attention. I mean, 30 of our 82 games, I feel like it's a nice chunk. The concern that I had is the increase of back-to-back games. And as Darth Vader points out, we are also playing the fewest teams who will be in a back-to-back. I'm not as high on it. I mean, can we be competitive? Absolutely. But that's why I think it's going to be more important for Coach Bud to really figure out his rotations a little bit earlier, because we're going to need to keep these guys fresh. We don't want to, be trying to figure out this new team, and this new system too much early on, because it doesn't really. There's not really, from beginning to end, it doesn't seem like there's a big ray of hope anywhere of just like, oh, good, we can finally relax a little bit. It looks like it'll be pretty competitive throughout.
Yeah, I share your thoughts there, Jake. It's a pretty tough start for the Suns, but I like it actually. It gives you that early like test for a team that has like some new faces, and we're definitely excited on that. Um, and then just kind of transition here, or mind me if I wanted to ask a question. Some people doesn't consider NBA TV as nationally televised, you know, uh, um, broadcast. Why do you think that is? Can you explain that to me? Because we have NBA TV here, and they show some games. But
So
why
you
is
said
it?
it's something you
Yeah.
have to usually add in to your television
Uh,
packages here,
so it's
kind of
subscription.
like NFL TV.
Okay.
But if you love the sport, you love it, you're going to go add the 10 extra bucks a month on it. And like I honestly, anymore, I really don't even watch that much regular TV in general. Like
Yeah.
just shows in general. Like I'm either watching like a Netflix movie or Amazon Prime or something, or I'm watching YouTube and what content creators are putting out. And then when sports seasons get going, and I'm a big NFL, NBA fan, I just get a package that includes them, and then I'll pretend to watch the news for like 15 minutes a week and be like, I'm informed. See, that's how I know that in Regina, not to be confused with Regina, but in Regina, Canada, that's how they don't they also
And you know what? What rhymes with
nope
Regina, right?
nope.
Fun.
That's
Little
the difference
Deadpool
between
reference there for
the
the
Austin
nerds.
English and the Canadian English, right there.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Well, we also have like Australian English, right? Like where they replace like S's with a C.
Well, that's why I said
Yeah,
Aussie.
nah, yeah, nah, yeah, nah, yeah, nah, no.
Thank you,
That's
Hammo.
a whole conversation right there in Australian, man.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Alrighty.
Everyone knows what I'm talking about.
All right. Let's move on, shall we? Okay. So, seeing the schedule from October through November, I would like you guys to probably put out a prediction out there just until maybe December, through December. So, I believe if my count is right, and I don't usually get it right, I have I have the Suns playing already 19 regular season games um, by that time. Was that accurate? Can someone tell me in the chat, please?
Well, or
Looks
we could just say
looks
what
about
we
right.
think the record's going to be after the first 20. Let's give it a nice round.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay.
Okay.
That's a good way.
All right. Ooh, that's tough.
That's a
It is
damn
tough.
good question.
Yeah. I'm going to say 12-8. A little above 500 and still kind of figuring it out a little bit. But I think hopefully we got, last season really took some of the wind out of my sails. I was like,
Yeah.
we're crushing these fools. We got Bradley Beal. You guys don't even know. And now I'm just like, all right, let's like slowly build on this thing. So if we're 12-8, 13-7, ooh, 13-7, I'd be feeling uncomfortably good.
That's the safest bet that anyone can give. How about you, Hammo?
I mean, look, we're definitely going to be over 500. I'm always a little bit more optimistic, so I'm going to take that 13-7. That's exactly where I was going.
I see.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm excited. Let's fucking go.
Well, I'm pretty positive for this season too, just because of what I've seen with Booker and Durant from the Olympics, and as well as the signings that the Suns have made, and the
Ooh.
retention of the other, not retention, is it retention? Yeah, retention of the other guys that we had from the previous year, excuse me, that can actually play. Okay, so
Thinking
so I'm
like a
thinking.
14-6.
I'm
15 and
thinking of a
5?
14
I,
and
I was
6
very close to saying
in
that,
here.
man.
I'm going with a 14 and 6, and you can grill me if that doesn't come to fruition. So, alrighty. So enough of the schedule. Let's go ahead and
Charles
enter.
agrees with you, man.
Oh, there you go. Thank you, Charles.
Should we go
So,
dancing?
yeah, let's go
Get
dancing.
our dance shoes on.
What's the name of that nightclub of yours again?
You talking about the boom boom room?
Yeah, the Boom Boom Room. That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, there you go. Our little happy feet, uh, showing out there.
Hashtag
Um,
girl dad. Yeah.
so, let's talk about some of the trending stuffs, if you will, in the Sun's Twitter. Over the past 1 or 2 weeks, we've seen videos circulating around X about that D'Angelo Russell podcast. It's I couldn't tell if it's a podcast or a video cast because
Yeah,
it's
it's
all a
it's
production,
called
right?
the Backyard Podcast. Yeah.
Okay, so they're still calling it a podcast. All right, but just in general, right? We've seen Devin Booker vlogging, the coolest blogger or vlogger in the world, and then
Speak for
D'Angelo
yourself.
Russell, D'Angelo Russell just putting out that video, uh, and out his YouTube channel. What do you guys think about you know because me personally, I felt like I got to know Devin Booker more uh, because of these videos, what his mindset is, and what the past was. Right, he was talking about going to UK or going to or like choosing apartments in Miami. But what are you guys' takes on it? Let's start with you, Hammo.
Look, I really enjoyed the Backyard Podcast with Devin Booker and D'Angelo Russell. It gave us a really cool insight into Booker because this is a guy that, and he mentions this in the podcast. He's not really much of a media guy. It's uncomfortable for him,
Yeah,
and him and D'Lo obviously known each other for a very long time, and it was a very comfortable setting where they were just chilling. If anyone hasn't seen it, just to give you a brief description, they're somewhere at an undisclosed location, which apparently is just outside of Flagstaff, Arizona. And they got their own little sort of driving range, and it's up in the hills, and they're hitting the golf balls downhill, and just having a great time, just chatting, and it was really cool to get to see that inside persona of Devin Booker open. The only time I've ever really other seen it was when Lindsay Smith interviewed him a couple of years ago, and that was like one of the short, like 15-minute interviews. But
yeah,
it was very cool to see, man. I think it's helping Booker. Everything in this off season is just helping Booker build his own brand. It's really people finally starting to notice, man.
yeah,
Yeah,
and we're
they're
gonna
finally starting to notice, and it's you can see it in Booker as well. I think you can see it. His swag is just undeniable.
the
You know,
aura, as they call it.
the aura, perfect word, man.
Yeah, and we're gonna transition more into Devin Booker love that he's getting later on in the Boom Boom Room. But yeah, I agree with you. We can certainly see that that other persona out of him when he's in with his friends, right? He's very comfortable with D'Angelo Russell. But what about you, Jake?
No, I think I'll be honest. I haven't seen any more than just a few kind of clips
Clips?
from it.
Oh, you should, man. It's
longer one.
really good. Even chuck it on the background because there's not a lot of visual stuff to see, guys. So if
Yeah.
if you just want to listen to it, just chuck it on.
Um, no, I think I know that he's got a kind of a bromance with D'Angelo Russell and Carl Anthony Towns from the time they did the magazine shoot, and they said someday we're going to be playing together. And
Yeah.
momentarily, all the Suns fans thought, "Oh, great, we're going to have D'Angelo Russell and Carl Anthony Towns." And then actually, since then, I think we've gotten to become bigger fans of Booker and less, we've kind of soured on Russell and Towns to a degree. And actually, we put a poll in for the Planeteers up that said, who would you rather have with this team right now? Would you rather have Tyus Jones as your point guard or D'Angelo Russell? 88 to 12% is in Tyus we trust. Super scientific, of course. But
Numbers back it up.
I think it's interesting to note that. And one of the more interesting videos I saw was, I forget exactly where who put it out. It felt like an MTV Cribs, but I think it was like being put out by like some, I don't know, real estate deal or some like kind of lifestyle YouTube channel or magazine or something like that about Devin Booker in his house. And
Okay.
is a guy getting to see his house, and he's like, "Yeah, this is where we play cards. This is where we drink wine. This is where we do this. Like, I just like to hang out." He just comes across as a very like low key, relaxed, but almost like that he could be brooding in a way. Like when he loses, I get the feeling that he doesn't let it go, and he can get upset and kind of get fired up about it. He just does not. He's not like DeAndre was like happy go lucky. Shaq would be like, "I hope you break my records, young fella." He'd be like, "Shaq said that? Oh my gosh, that's so neat." And Booker would be like, "I'll see what I can do." He's just a little bit more serious.
I can do that.
Yeah,
I can do that. Yeah.
So no,
Exactly.
but Booker's just he's just hyper focused, and that's cool. Who else was like that? Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and I think you need a mix of that on your team. They can't all be the campaigns. Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, DeAndre Ayton. They were. I mean, when we made that championship run, they were dancing on the court, having a good time. I love that vibe. But I think you need somebody like a Chris Paul and Devin Booker to sit there and kind of bring those guys back. Like they get excited with an energy play, and that's great. But you need those people that are just like meticulous about the style of the game. I think Booker has that, and his, in every interview I've seen him in, that's kind of how he is. I wish he would be a little bit more personable and open sometimes in these interviews.
I'm sure the NBA does too.
Yeah, but I mean that's just not his style. And heck. I remember back in the day, with football, this is the closest example I can remember. Or not that Booker's as near as this, but Ricky Williams was a Heisman Trophy winning running back that used to give post-game interviews with his helmet on. He was just shy. He did not like to talk to the press. So like I've seen a spectrum of player interviews and kind of player lifestyle videos. Booker's not nearly as bad as that in shyness, but yeah, he just like, I hope I'm glad to see every time I see him like biting that like gold medal or something like that, or just hanging out. He looks like he's still having fun, and I hope he always remembers to
enjoying
enjoy
life, man.
Yeah, stop and smell the roses, and keep that chip on your shoulder to keep the drive going, but enjoy it while you go.
Yeah, I think while it's great to like do all that interview stuff, I think Booker is just. Katie mentioned this before or many times now that he's just an old soul, right? With his deep voice and his laser focus, I think that's a perfect combination. The killer instinct is there, so I don't mind him not smiling at all times. Um, and I kind of like him, like as a villain too. You know, kind of like the one
Yeah,
who
I can
makes
see that.
fans cry um, during games. So that's just my take of it. But transitioning over to our next topic is that the recent love that Devin Booker has gotten for this Olympic run. It's I saw someone on Twitter saying that Devin Booker uh, has reached basically he couldn't have a much higher positive PR um, to what he's receiving now. So I think that's well deserved for him. People are finally seeing how great Devin Booker is. It's silly because we've known him for 10 years or going 10 years, and We all know that in him, and I'm a little surprised as well about how people questions the greatness when they saw that playoff runs, or the playoff run, or the championship, or the finals run that the 2021 Suns did. So what are you guys' takes on it?
Go ahead, Hammo.
I don't know, man. I just don't know. I don't know what to think right now.
All
Go
right.
on,
I care
Jake.
that
Save
much
me.
about it. Yeah, I care that much about it. Does he deserve a lot of attention, praise? Yes, absolutely. But
Yes.
as you point out, we've been saying that for years.
Yeah.
And I could understand the argument. That 70-point game. This is a good player on a bad team, or is this just fluff? That kind of stuff. Um, and so for me, he's the best kept secret in the NBA. The players recognize him. The coach, Steve Kerr, knows that he needs to, put him in the starting lineup in the Olympics. He's finally making all-star games so a little bit more, we're not nervous about whether or not somebody's going to opt out of going to the all-star game so Booker can maybe get in. It seems like he might be a little bit more in that lock territory now. He finished fourth in MVP voting when we went to the finals that one year. So
Yeah.
for him, I don't think he cares much. I hope he doesn't, because he's getting the praise from the right people, the players and the coaches, and his own son's fans. So if ESPN in New York, or or out in Connecticut, wherever they're based actually out of, but East Coast, West Coast media doesn't pay attention to him, that's fine. We'll just go and enjoy those great articles of who the heck is this guy that just crushed our team.
Yeah, the biggest unsung hero in the last 10 seasons, and can we throw up Voider's trivia question there? Where is it? Thank you very much. So in Booker's 10th season, and people are still like not knowing this guy when he's been there battling with the likes of Luka Doncic, all these beefs with what's that?
Paul George.
That supposed Australian idiot's name doesn't really
Australia.
come to mind. Yeah. Oh, Ben Simmons, my friend. All the battles he's had on the court, off the court, with this and that. Like it's cool to watch him just sit there and just be chill with it, man. Like he's so stoic. He doesn't care that much about the hype and all of this. Like he almost looked like he's embarrassed to date a Jenner, like Kardashian or whatever. He's just not really that guy. But it's cool to see the little bit of love that he's getting right now. It really
Yeah.
is.
I think the hate really stems from the beginning of the double team video, and then he had that um, some the talk of a fake tough guy, right? For Booker, when he ran into Paul George, for instance, and Clay Thompson, and Clay Thompson, I don't think people were bothered by that much
Clay
because
Thompson
they both
got
both
so
respect.
annoyed by Booker.
Salty.
Booker annoys Clay Thompson because Clay Thompson cannot beat Devin Booker. That's the problem.
Yeah, oh, it's funny, but they sorted it out because they both respect each other. But yeah, moving on from that, let's go ahead and talk some video game stuff. Okay, let's veer away from the real life, for instance here, video games. So,
You
2K
sound like
released.
the guy from the Rocky movie. Remember Rocky 5, when Rocky goes back to the streets and he fights Tommy the Machine Gun, and he's the promo guy, and he's like, "Enough of the fantasy. Let's talk reality. What are you gonna do? NBA 2K ratings
I'm so sorry. I didn't intend for
only
it to
in
be that way.
America."
In America, already. Anyway, um, we have Sun's rating. This is not an official rating, apparently, that I got from one website, but we have what do you see here? Kevin
Now,
Durant,
you're talking
second.
about the 3-point shooting, or
Yeah,
okay.
let's talk about the three-point shooting because that seems to be accurate because it was tweeted out by the NBA 2K
Mhm.
Twitter account. We have Grayson Allen and Kevin Durant second and third, only behind only Steph as the number one three-point shooting. shooter in 2K. So I think it's very much for Grayson Allen. I think you can make an argument that he deserves that rating, but I didn't see enough 3-point shooting from KD really, and that's what one of the problems that we had in the last season, right? They were not taking enough 3-point shots outside of Grayson Allen, who had like multiple games that hit like 8 or 9 um, 3 points or uh, 3-point shots. So uh, do you guys think this is a valid, at least for Kevin Durant? Like, is this accurate? I think they're basing it off like percentage, right? 2K. I'm not sure.
Look, I think Grayson Allen definitely deserves his
Yeah,
position on that. I wasn't expecting to be second. Um, don't get me wrong, I wasn't expecting to be first, but I just didn't expect people to actually recognize that. Kevin Durant being 3 is a bit strange,
yeah,
but we'll take it. We'll
gotcha. Well,
take it. I
thank
mean,
you. Uh-huh. Yeah, thank you for bringing that point, Hamo. So, Grayson Allen ended the season with the highest 3-point percentage, right? So why is he not number one? So I don't think it's based on stats from where 2K is getting this. But Jake, how about you?
Well, let me ask you guys: are you guys 2K players?
I did at some point in my time or in my life.
Right.
yeah,
Okay.
yep. I'm a 2K player. I don't play online because the community is toxic,
Mhm.
and those people that are out there doing it, give me 5 seconds here. Those people out there being toxic to people online who don't play online, grow the fuck up. Okay, we all have jobs and real lives, mate. We just want to chill, play video games. Just because we don't live in our mum's basement and eat 2-minute noodles all fucking day long and
Oh my
play
goodness.
video games, all right? Settle down. Let people enjoy the game. All right. Thank you.
I'm
Okay,
remembering a
so Hamill's
scene.
gotten beaten by some kids
We're,
at this
no,
point
we're,
because
we're doing a little
no,
bit of childhood trauma
no,
here.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
that childhood trauma.
No,
Yeah,
but seriously,
famous on
there's
some.
no need for it. There's no need for it. If
Yeah,
you
this
want to
totally
enjoy the
reminds
game
me
and
of
have better
yeah.
people to play with you, build people up. Don't just
Oh my god,
treat them like shit.
you
It's
I
reminded me.
remember.
it's
Yeah.
so
Go ahead, Cam.
dumb.
Yeah, I remember a scene from the Avengers. Was it Endgame? I think, where this rock guy was playing a video game, and he said to Thor that, "Hey, that guy's shown up again." And then Thor just takes the headset and bullies this kid. Oh my goodness. Oh,
Yeah,
No,
you
this
talk
is
about Korg.
oh
Yeah,
gosh,
and it
Hunter
Korg,
was
with
yeah.
the
noob.
shots fired on the banner.
It was Noob Master 69. Oh, that kid's back again. He's calling me a dickhead.
Yeah, exactly. That's the
You know,
scene.
Hamo, you've experienced what all of us in the career world have experienced, which is that moment where you go from high school and college to getting a real job, and all of a sudden you come back from work and it's 5 o'clock where you're at or 5:30, and you're like, I'm going to play an online game. And for me, it was Modern Warfare. A little Call of Duty action. And what I
Nice.
quickly realized is that kids are getting out of school at about 3 o'clock here in the States. So they've been playing online for like 2 hours by the time I sit down, maybe crack a beer, had a good day at work, gonna figure out how this works. And then I hear like this little boy who's like voices cracking, being like, "Oh yeah, well I just owned you, you noob." And then they're doing the like the teabag motion. They're talking about my mom, and I'm just like, I'm 28. Why am I what? This is frustrating. And so yeah.
Look, I'll be quite honest. I've recently had a birthday. I just turned 39. I haven't played online NBA in probably 5 years. And it wasn't little kids, it was grown ass fucking men from my own country. And it's just pathetic. Just pathetic, man. I just took the headset off and just sat there. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with this world?
Well,
Just
Star's
please
right. I'm not.
get your shit together, guys. That's it.
I'm
I'm
going to
done.
try and avoid the slurs. Yeah, and just say they called me noob. No, they called me much worse than noob. But you know what's funny is that I usually play as like an old school like back to the basket power forward and like a big man player. So usually everyone else is out there trying to, dribble and show off their dunk skills and deep 3-point shots. And I'm the guy that's just smoking them when they come close to the basket. So I know my skill set, it's limited, but I will dominate you in a portion of the game. So when I do those 5-on-5 games, I can actually hang in there. It's the one-on-ones that I'm just like, my player is like basically like a Shaquille O'Neal type player. I'm not going to play you one. It's just not going to work. But no, I'm a big fan of 2K. I love the game. I'm a franchise guy. I love doing simulations. My buddy jokes and he goes, "So are you enjoying your game spreadsheets, NBA?" And I'm like, "It's not that. I do play some of the games. I'll play like elimination games in the playoffs. But otherwise, I'm trying to like build a franchise." So I love the game. And so when I saw the top 3-point shooting, Curry at the top, I agree with you, Kev. I'm kind of surprised that KD got the 3rd spot at 92 overall for 3-point shooting. He is a good 3-point shooter. I want to see him shoot more. And yes, is he? Absolutely. I mean, the good old 2K days, having a kid reduces the amount of time you can get good at 2K. But I love that they put Grayson Allen at number 2 because he did lead the league. I get why Curry is the top, and I agree with Voida. It's a popularity contest. It most certainly is. In fact, he actually interviewed Ronnie 2K last year on Suns Jam, which was a very interesting interview to hear from that from the leader of the 2K NBA franchise or video game franchise. But for me, Steph Curry, so he launches shots so deep from the 3-point line that I remember they actually did like a whole presentation about how to actually try and be more inclusive of the Dame Lillard, Steph Curry types, because Grayson Allen isn't going super deep out. He's just very efficient from the 3-point line. KD's similar, but Curry is like 2 feet past midcourt, and now he's got like a 40% chance to make it just from there. So I get why they're trying to emphasize that. I think some of the other things that stood out to me a little bit more, and so these are I was surprised that Mike Conley's in the top 5. I know he's been shooting better the last few years. I still remember him with the Grizzlies and Zach Randolph and Marc Gasol, and he couldn't hit a 3 to save that team in the playoffs at all. But I'll go through real quick. So they've released a top 3-point shooting. These are all the top 5 at these categories. Top 3-point shooting. They did top 5 handles. No Suns made it. They did top 5 in steals. Shout out to Australia. Matisse Thybulle, who couldn't even make the Olympic team, is number 1 there with a 98 overall. I always like to pick him up in free agency and just have him swipe the ball in the 4th quarter. Let's see. And then they also have top 5 driving dunks. Anthony Edwards, Ja Morant, but there are no Suns on there. And then the top 5 perimeter defense led by Drew Holiday, Alex Caruso, no Suns on that one either. And the top 5 in handles was Kyrie Irving, Steph Curry, and top 5 in steals, Thybulle and Caruso. So I'm kind of surprised to see the Suns only have 2 people in any of these categories so far. But I suppose with those categories that have been released so far, I'm not shocked. I don't think we necessarily have the top handles guys or the top steals guys, top perimeter defense.
And also with how bad we performed last season, we're not garnering a lot of attention. So,
well, maybe
I love
do.
What do you guys think about this idea?
Yes,
right side of the sun 2K tournament. I will badmouth Hammo so much he won't even show up to the court.
No, I won't even show up to the pod the next week.
teams.
I'm just going to sit in the corner and rock back and forward and cry. And
John,
no, that sounds like fun.
The highlight of COVID was when it was DeAndre Ayton and Booker winning the 2K championship.
So this is gonna be up to John to make this happen. So John, if you're still here, take note. Right side of the sun, 2K.
Take note.
Take note, Voida.
Sorry, I didn't mean that to be rude.
But
yeah, they're requesting for it.
Tell you what, when Kevin, ever since you turned into a host, you just turned into a maniacal, and just a maniac.
Oh my goodness, I'm so
take note, Voida. You can write some articles, guys. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Fair shot.
Fair shot. Yeah, I'll write one when someone wins.
Oh,
for all these talking, for those listening, they're like, okay, now where are they going? They're getting off the tracks. There's been some articles in the hopper for Kev and Hammo to draft up for Bright Side of the Sun. Check it out if you haven't. That's where all the Sun's content is coming from for the best articles online.
The best Suns content.
We want to hear, I especially want to hear how Grayson Allen is the fourth best player on this Suns team from Sir Hammo. That is the one that we're waiting to hear that argument laid out. It's going to be as classic as LeBron James sucks. So I just can't wait to read that one. And it'll be good because we already talked a little bit about how you had David Roddy so high before he got traded. So you do have some of the more interesting Suns Planet takes. And that is for sure.
No, we could say.
I'm not too sure if it was David Roddy or myself that was too high at that time, but
don't you come back down from that high. Don't you try and change
No, look, I stand by look, I'm a man of mistakes. We all are. If you can't own it, then you're just a piece of shit. And
I own my mistake. I'm owning it right now.
I will definitely explain my Grayson Allen rating. I definitely.
Hey, don't get me. I love me some Grayson Allen. I just didn't have him fourth.
Oh yeah.
How about you write some articles, Jake?
I should, but I never said I would. So that's the difference. You guys, I can't wait to write.
With a face like that, he doesn't need to write.
That's right.
Okay, it's less.
This one goes out to all the ladies that we don't have following this channel.
Oh my goodness.
No, I do want to give a quick shout out to Izzy. Our French connection from our Suns Plan Goes to France. He's offered to come back on to the show because we want to hear about the craziness. And actually, maybe we get an article from Izzy. Maybe you guys could interview Izzy and find out what it was like to have Paris host the Olympics. Izzy's from Paris, and we'd be very interested to,
definitely.
Izzy was out on the streets waiting for Devin Booker to just roll up with some, book ones. We'll have to find out.
Definitely. Collaboration coming up.
Yeah, that seems to be in the works already, and we hope that we could get it done. Anyways, guys, this has been a lovely episode, great episode with you guys. I want to thank everyone in the chat, and let's do some closings out here. Jake, where can they find you?
You can find me at Fallen Founder on Twitter, and See, I'm so used to doing the closeout. I'm not used to. That's
so surreal. I'm like, I never hear him say you can find me. Yeah.
Sometimes you can find Jake in another state. For instance, last week he's in Texas. Right?
That's right.
Was it? Okay.
I'll be in Massachusetts in October, and maybe I should see if Suns are playing Boston when I'm there. That'd be a cool game.
Awesome. Yeah. All right, Hammo, where can the people find you?
Well, in terms of states, you can usually find me in two. It's either New South Wales, Australia, or the state of Euphoria. And you can find me at Sir Hammo on... Sorry, guys. This is why you need to watch as well, because there's just brilliant comments in the chat and stuff. Find me at Sir Hammo. Guys, look, I just love talking Suns. Please hit me up. This has been an absolute pleasure. Kev, well done. Done a great job, my man.
Yeah, round of applause. Kevin's first job taking the lead. He only dropped off for the first third.
It is not easy. It is definitely not.
It's not easy.
It's not easy at all, man. But thanks to everyone in the chat. Please hit that like and subscribe button. We got a lot of people that watch our content, see our content, like our content, share our content, but subscription is the main thing that's going to help us be able to get to the level where we can bring to you better content, more personable, where we can start doing, player interviews, those kinds of things. And we'd love to be able to bring that to you guys. So Phoenix Suns fans, NBA fans, just tell your friends, tell your family, tell your grandma, get your dog to create a fake account just so you can subscribe and just help us help you get better.
Thank you, Hammo. And I love you, all of you. You can find me at I'm Kevin PS. Again, no more sluts in the house. I'm Kevin PS is the handle in Twitter.
Where can we find your articles?
Bright Side of the Sun. You guys can find our work there. Hammo and I, not Jake, but his name is in there when we do write-ups. So Yeah. To everyone who didn't watch the start of the show, I just want to again share the context of why I'm hosting today. Devin Booker followed our Twitter account, and then somehow I blew up his notifications and he unfollowed. And this is my punishment. So thank you guys for tuning in, and Al McCoy, take us away.
Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, stay with us as the Suns get set to shine here on their home court.
Here's Perry. Cigar Hurd. Here's the jump shot. Good! It's good!
Al McCoy with you courtside. Pumped up a three.
Shazam! He ties it. Hey, D.A. Al and Tim up here.
happy
Right. Yeah.
I know it's from all the happy birthday, baby!
Here's Cameron Payne out on top. Durant, three-pointer straight away.
Shazam! I just want to take this opportunity to thank everyone in this arena this afternoon, to all of those that are watching and listening on radio and TV. Thank you for allowing me to tell the story of the Suns for 51 great years.
That pretty much wraps things up here. And for one last time, this is Al McCoy saying thanks for being there. Thanks for being with us tonight. And from the Footprint Center here in downtown Phoenix, we'll just say so long for now.